Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Dust 514 101. In this episode, I won't really be giving a tutorial. As you can hear, I'm not really doing my tutorial voice. This is my usual voice. Today, I'm going to be talking a bit about Dust, where Dust was a long time ago, where Dust is now, and where I hope to see Dust in the future. Because you see, when I first saw Dust, it had a lot of potential. It was a really exciting game. All the tech demos were really impressive, and even for its early days, and had a lot of potential for what Dust 514 really could be. And finally, when the closed beta hits, only a few people were allowed in. That was as we expected. It was still very impressive, and in some ways, it was actually more impressive than what we have now. I'll go into that for a little second, but before I do continue, I will tell you a bit about what it was like. Because, of course, if you go onto YouTube, you won't find any of the information that you'll see today, because back then it was on an NDA. All the videos were removed. I actually had a part in removing them. But anyway, basically, the skirmish mode was very, very different to what it was today. In many ways, I honestly think it was better back then. And basically how it worked, it was a linear map. There was very clear attacker and defender, only one MCC on the attacker side, which very slowly made its way up the battlefield on the map that was called Crater Lake. And Crater Lake is very missed by some of the more veteran players, because it was a really, really good map. Like a ridiculously good map. It was very easily placed. There were multiple objectives. If you find yourself blocked down one of the lanes, you could find another way around. I mean, towards the end of the build, it was very balanced against the unbalanced against the attackers. Sorry, against the defenders. Sorry. How it worked was that all the attackers only were able, at the beginning of the game, were only able to spawn right at the back of the map, and the defenders had all surface objectives, all of the installations as well. And the whole idea of the map was that the attackers had to either destroy or hack and self-destruct these two things called defense relays. These defense relays, once disabled, then allow people to gain access to the next area, which was basically, it's sort of similar to what we have now in Skirmish, except it was the attackers had to disable the null cannons to allow the MCC to dock at the installation, and therefore taking control of the district. And I just liked it so much better, because in this, in the current Dust, there's no clear attacker or defender. It's very even, and I don't like that personally. I do really miss the old days. And as we go on, things have changed, and some things for the better, some things for the worse. I'll still say that the earlier Skirmish was a little better than what we have today. Simply the reason it's just so much more fun and not as generic. I know it's a bit strange to say that in a shooter, but it really was true. I liked the uniqueness. I guess it wasn't really unique. You could pretty much explain it as just Rush version. Really, it's just Rush from Battlefield 3. But it was still so much more fun than the game modes we have offered today. Now, many people have been very frustrated with Dust, myself included. This is largely down to CCP with various problems here and there, taking the game in directions that perhaps weren't really best for the game. Dust's old executive producer, Brandon, I forget his actual name, I think it was CCP Cheon. I think he took the game in a route that was safe, but not particularly unique, and not particularly fun, really. And I think that's really what sort of caused Dust's downfall. And but now we have a new executive producer, and that's he's CCP Rouge, Jean Claude, and he is brilliant. I mean, so far we've yet to see his amazing talks. I mean, because I'm on the CPM, as you'll probably know, and he has said I can't go into what he said, but he said some pretty good stuff in the various meetings we've had with him. He has been 100% more engaging than the previous executive producer, and I with him on board, I am very, very, very optimistic about Dust's future. I mean, I only really wish that that he had been here for the last 2 years, because he really is well, if he does everything that he says he wants to do, then Dust has a bright future, and I honestly believe that. But at the moment, we can't really take what he has to say at face value. We have to really just wait and see exactly what happens, of course. Now, I'm just also going to go into a little bit about why I took the break that I did. Now, there are three main reasons. One, because I was moving to a different country, I got a job in Japan, I was having a bit of fun in a new country, down the south in a shared employee dormitory with only one TV and no PlayStation. I couldn't really steal the PlayStation for the entire dorm, which wouldn't be fair. The internet connection was pretty damn bad, but also because I just needed a break. I really did. Dust had really become so frustrating, and I really just needed a time to get away from it all. And when I finally came back, even though not much had changed, unfortunately, in the 5 or so months I'd been away, things really gave me a fresh perspective. And it was just, I came back just as CCP Rouge joined on, and that's when things are really starting to move on. As we all know, in 1.7 as the next build to hit, we've seen some very interesting things in the various few dev blogs that have come out. No official patch notes yet, but there are some really interesting changes to come. You've seen some of the changes to faction warfare, to the OB system, to weapons and tanks and vehicles and all that. It's a bit of a shame that that some of the vehicles are being removed, but I have it on good authority that they're going to come back eventually, just changed. But yeah, I mean, I think if Dust goes the way that CCP Rouge wants it to go, things can be good. Things can be interesting, and I do hope it goes that way. Also, I'm going to quickly take this opportunity just to address a couple of things that really have been bothering me in terms of people in the community or on the forums just having a go at me. They seem to think that because I AWOX, that makes me an trustworthy player, which is completely ridiculous. I mean, I want this game to work. I want this game to have a future. Using AWOXing does not make me a bad person or a bad player. It just means I was able to use the things I had at my disposal to the highest possible way. And obviously things didn't work out exactly how I planned, but that's how the game goes. And people also say that I don't understand this at all, but some people seem to think if I used insider information to AWOX or benefit myself, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, everyone knew that Friendly Fire was coming. Everyone knew that you could pull people into corporation matches, and PC would be no different. And I just connected the dots. Hell, I wasn't even the first person to AWOX. I can't remember the corp that it was, but it was still pretty funny, I thought, and I thought it was great. I thought it was too easy, it was too easy to AWOX, and I brought that to the developers' attention the moment I'd done it the first time. You know, and that's and they subsequently changed it so you had to have roles, and that's a good thing because you know, like, I feel like I was just doing my job as a CPM really. I can be a troll. You know, I can be a bit of a bitch sometimes, but only when, well, I'm sort of a recipient troll. If I see something stupid or I see someone being a twat, I will try and have a go back. But that's just me. And one last thing before I do go, because like I said, I do want this game to succeed, and I am sort of trying to do a few things here and there. I'll try to do more videos. I also have been trying to engage the community a bit more, but they sort of bring up the whole AWOXing thing again, and say, "Oh, you're a Jenza, you AWOX, that makes you a bad person and untrustworthy." I fail to see how doing that one thing makes me untrustworthy as a player, because I still want to help people. And, you know, I didn't do like all that work on the Wikipedia or these tutorial videos because I'm just a complete bad person all the time. I want to help the community. I want to help the game. But some people just don't see that. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll sign off here. And I hope to see you in game. If anyone wants to contact me, my Skype is just Jenza514. And thanks, that's Jenza signing off.